You can call me Tom.
Okay, so forgive me if I make any mistake.
That is okay. No worries.
Okay. First, thank you for being here today. So I have two subjects and you might want to talk about, but you only have to choose one. So you want to talk about the countries you visited, or you want to talk about Vietnam?
I would like to talk about the countries I have visited.
Okay, the countries. How many countries have you visited?
I'm very lucky, you know, I've been to about 40 different countries.
40?
40.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's many.
Plan to ask you what are they. Okay, so what is your favorite country?
My favorite country is probably, I have two favorite countries. One in Asia and one in Central America. My favorite country in Asia is Nepal. You know Nepal?
I know a mountain named
Yes.
Nepal.
And it's not a mountain, the country is called Nepal. And do you know Mount Everest?
Oh, yes.
Mount Everest is in Nepal.
Oh.
So it's in Nepal and China. Okay, on the border.
Oh, okay.
Nepal here, China here. And my other favorite country is Guatemala.
Guatemala?
Guatemala.
In America?
It's in Central America, so it's below Mexico.
So, talk about week in Asia. Why do you love it?
I love it for several reasons. I would say probably one of the biggest reasons would be the people. So the people are very, very gentle people. They're very kind, and I would say they're very, very hospitable and generous, and also very good fun. Okay, so I love the people. I also love the scenery and the mountains. So it has many, many beautiful mountains, and it's a great place to go trekking. You know trekking? Walking for days. So one day you put on your backpack and you walk for maybe 10 or 20 days in the mountains.
So where do you spend the night?
They have these places called tea houses, because many people live in the mountains. You're walking around the mountains and you're going through their villages. So as the tourism industry has grown, then the local people have built more houses there where the guests can sleep and eat and things like this. It's very basic. That's good fun.
Don't you have to pay for it or just free?
Yes. No, you have to pay. So if you want to go trekking, maybe you have to get a permit. So maybe you have to pay the government some money to trek that area, and then you have to pay for the accommodation every night. It's very cheap. Maybe a couple of dollars for one night.
And well, the price in Asian countries is very cheap, like in Vietnam.
It's much cheaper compared to my country, yes.
Of course. I heard that London is a big expensive place to stay.
Yes, I think it's one of the most expensive places in the world.
Oh.
Yes.
So how about the weather there?
The weather in Nepal or the weather in London?
The weather in
Nepal. In Nepal. It varies because it has different climates. So it's a small country. In the southern of the country, the south of the country is very, very hot. It's like very similar to how it is in India. Then the further north you go, the higher up you go. So it gets colder and colder and colder. So the southern part of the country is very, very hot. And then the middle part of the country is like the foothills of the mountains. So it's quite warm. And then the next level, higher up in the mountains, very cold.
So it's hot on the ground, and then colder and colder.
Exactly. The higher you go, the colder it gets.
Well, it's exciting. I go everywhere in my country, and everywhere is so hot.
But similar like Sapa, or similar to Sapa. So if you go to Sapa, Sapa is colder than Hanoi. Yeah?
Yeah, it's colder, but I think because of global warming or because of anything, Sapa is hotter now than before.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's getting hotter. Yeah. But they say if you go to Fansipan, have you climbed Fansipan?
No, I didn't dare to try.
You haven't dared to try. So I think if you say you have Hanoi, and then you have Sapa, and then you have Fansipan, it's the same idea. You get a little bit cooler.
Have you ever climbed Fansipan?
No. I've climbed lots of mountains in Nepal, but none in Vietnam.
Do you think about trying?
Not really. When I have holidays here, I like to go on my motorbike.
climb the mountain is beautiful, but the people there don't know English, and they have no idea about traveling or visiting. So if you get lost or something, you will be lost there forever.
Wow, lost in the mountains forever. That sounds cool.
So maybe you ask the people there, and they just smile, and they go, and then goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything you want to change in Nepal?
I think that it's a very, very poor country. There's huge amounts of poverty. So one thing that I would love to change perhaps would be more investment in the countryside. I think the towns have some money spent on them, but the majority of people who live in the countryside probably have no electricity, no running water. So if I had a magic wand and I could change things, then perhaps I would give them electricity and water and things like that.
I think such a beautiful place is worth investing,